When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert. It says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night. You don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Brandy.
The tapering may happen later this year. Fed will slow down those bond purchases.
I would be very, very surprised if they actually did taper.
Wow, so you're not even buying it. You think maybe when? It starts next year?
There's so much COVID confusion, and with the different variants and the masking confusion, all this situation, how could a Fed actually make any logic out of this? I mean, the Fed is no brighter, pardon me, than most analysts and the rest of us out here, so they don't have any additional information. Given our current situation, I just think it would be a very, very serious mistake to do that.
Now, the tapering. The problem we're seeing now is the dollar is soaring because everybody's afraid that they're going to taper. When you taper, in a situation we're in right now, when you start cutting back, remember for 13 years they've been producing and printing money backed by nothing, not by gold. And that's how we've been able to keep the stock market rally going for 13 years, by buying treasuries and keeping interest rates at zero. So the stock market's been going up for 13 years. It's all fraud. It's all fake. But it's been one wonderful ride, incredible ride. The wealthy really made a lot of money. And the wealthy always makes money. Most people don't understand. The Federal Reserve, they control when we have booms and we have busts. And people don't realize they make money in booms. And when the bust comes and everybody suffers, the 1 percentile make even more money. They're the only ones that's not affected by a bust. Why? Because when there's a bust, exactly like what happened between February 2020 and April 2020, when we had that crash, they call it the pandemic crash, they benefit because they start printing gobs of money. And when you start doing that, and you do all these stimulus programs, and you print $6 trillion, and you print another $1 trillion, another $2 trillion, and you put all these stimulus programs, send checks out to everybody, send every kid $300, all that creates tremendous inflation. But see, the wealthy wants inflation because they benefit because all of their assets go up, including, of course, stocks. Assets that Main Street doesn't have. So think about this for a minute. The Federal Reserve, they have it made. The top 1 percentile have it made. Because when the boom rallies are in, like we've been experiencing since 2013, they made a fortune. People on Main Street didn't. They're suffering. And when we have this bust, they're going to make another fortune because they say, well, to come out of the bust, we got to turn around and start doing this all over again. This is crazy. The reason why I was thinking about that for a moment was that, did you see Biden? You must have seen Biden's, he had a conference, I think it was around 2 o'clock. He got on TV, and he had everybody around him, the vice president and everybody else, and he did a news conference. But he picked out the people he wanted to. They had to submit the questions first, and then what he did, he answered the questions that he wanted to answer. And if he didn't like your question, he wouldn't read your question. So he told everybody, send questions in, and then when he finally picked the questions, okay, I'll take this one, that one, and I know how to answer it. And that's what he did. So he only answered the reporters who were asking him the questions he liked. But what was interesting I like watching after these news briefs or these meetings, these press conferences. I like to hear the commentary. And I go through all the different channels. Now, of course, I was stunned. ABC, CBS, the big ones. Usually they don't even report on this stuff, or they'll say nothing bad against the president, this president, or the other cable like MSNBC. They won't say anything bad about him. But boy, it was different this time because he was giving out so much disinformation. It was incredible. And so even the MSNBC, who always lies for him, who always protects him, even they were going after him. So, and I was thinking, all this disinformation we're getting about what's going on in Afghanistan, we get the same disinformation every day about the economy. We get the same disinformation. Think about that. So when you're watching your TVs and you're getting angry with all this disinformation we're getting about Afghanistan and what's going on, we get that every day in the market. You're trying to make financial decisions and investing in stocks based on all this bad information, disinformation. And this all started going all the way back to when they formed the Federal Reserve. Remember, when they formed the Federal Reserve, which I always tell you, the biggest thing for this country needs to get rid of those gangsters. To get rid of those gangsters. And because the biggest problem is when they started the Federal Reserve, they had about 5-6 gangsters, okay, who wanted to form the central bank, and they would have all the power. And by loaning the money to the government, they could loan money to their friends, and they would decide who would get rich and who wouldn't. I mean, it was a terrible thing. And the people really didn't want that. People didn't want that. When I heard about that, they didn't want to have a central bank because they understood the income inequality that would come along with that because they never trust these banks. Back then, they didn't trust bankers. So they didn't want it. So what they did, they turned around and remember, these guys who wanted to make this one central bank up, they turned around and they took all these ads out in the newspaper and articles how the banks they did not want the central bank. Did not want the central bank. By the way, the only reason why they had to change the name to Federal Reserve because the 5 guys who were putting this deal together, they were such gangsters, they didn't want to bring it to the Congress because they knew that the Congress would be upset because a lot of them were really gangsters. At least 3 of them were real bad gangsters. So that's why they changed it to Federal Reserve. But anyways, so they would tell everybody, that people would read in the newspaper, look at this, the banks don't want a central bank. They don't want a central bank. So that must be the Federal Reserve should be a good thing. That's how they got it passed. Can you imagine? So this group of gangsters got the Federal Reserve passed because they won the people over. Because in the beginning, the people said, "No way, I don't trust these gangsters. We'll have a problem. We'll get poor, and the rich will get richer." And then when they put all these ads and comments in the paper about how the banks reported, "Oh, we don't want them," right when they wanted them. And of course, then now they had the banks supporting them. And then when they went to Congress, they changed the name to Federal Reserve because these gangsters, 2 or 3 of them, were real gangsters. That they knew it wouldn't get passed, so they got it passed. And the idea behind the Federal Reserve is for them to print the money and then to loan it to us. And then we got to pay interest on it. To me, that always seemed ridiculous and silly. But I was thinking about it when I was watching the commentary, this press conference with all the disinformation. I'm going, do people realize? They're also upset about the disinformation from Afghanistan, but people never get upset about the disinformation we get every day with the Federal Reserve. And that affects their pocketbook. I mean, they lie to us all the time. Unbelievable. We'll be back with a lot more, and we'll take a look at the stocks today. Phil's Gang. Sign up for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Graney, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down. It keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. Banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market is still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month, philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Warning, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. Tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
The unfolding of a market crash. If you don't think the stock market is going to crash, then you got to be nuts. This is going to be one of the biggest crashes ever. Just because they're stimulating the economy, they're plugging money in, keep driving up the debt. No, the market is going to crash. I bring you evidence every Friday on my YouTube channel. I review the week and tell you why we're getting closer to crash. So don't miss it. It's free for everyone. Go to my YouTube channel, Phil's Gang YouTube channel, and I will be posting it tonight between 6 and 7. Remember, it's free. Go to my YouTube channel, and please hit subscribe, like, and share. But people have enjoyed it because you don't have to be a gang member. And what I do each week, I scope down the week and pick up those things during the week that I see as clues that we're getting closer to a correction. Remember, I told you the correction is coming. If you don't think we're going to not get a crash, you got to be crazy. But the difference between this and all the other crashes, our central bank, the Federal Reserve, those gangsters, they keep printing all this money. And remember, they print all this money. There's no gold behind it. It's coming out of thin air. So they send all this stimulus money out to everybody. I mean, think about it. And all this money goes out to rental, goes out to, the student loans. I mean, they're just pouring money out to everyone. 7 million people are getting these checks every week. Well, we're going to see what happens when September 6th comes. Because if they have no income if they take that away from them. There's 10 million jobs available. We'll see if they go take those 10 million jobs, force them to take the 10 million jobs, or are they going to do the same thing with the rental that they're doing with the rents? So don't worry about it. We'll sign you up again for free rent. So don't worry about it. We'll take you 7 million people, and we'll give you money and keep paying you $300 for each one of your kids. Keep sending you an extra check to $300 to go with your other $300, so you're getting $600 a week. This is insane, but that's what they're doing. This is crazy. And this is not good. Now, when they said they're going to taper, what does tapering mean? Well, tapering means that the Federal Reserve, these gangsters, are going to stop printing that $125 billion a month that keeps interest rates at zero after 13 years. This is insane. They're going to say, we're going to reduce that. Well, do you know what will happen? First of all, you can't do something like that when you have the evidence that we're already in a recession. First of all, their own policy, the Federal Reserve, is they never taper unless they have full employment. We don't have full employment. They're going against their own rules and regulations. Never has the Federal Reserve tapered when you don't have full employment. So that's number one. That's one big problem. Number 2, productivity. Now, anytime productivity, production, it falls beyond 50%. You can pick that up with the supply management report that comes out every month. And anytime it's below 50%, they never taper. But it's below 50%. We're at 47.8%. That's the worst level we've had in 10 years. We have 300,000 to 400,000 people signing up each week for unemployment checks. That's recessionary. Anything over 300,000, actually over 350,000, any number over 350,000, that tells you you're in a recession. Consumer confidence, that's huge. When consumers aren't confident, they don't spend. And then what happens, you go from inflation where everybody's spending money they're getting money dumped in their checking account by the government and they're going out spending and there's no production. Instead of having 30, if you're going to buy a shirt, usually there's 100 shirts on a shelf. Then you go to the store, there's only 5 because nobody's producing. And now prices go up because the store's not stupid. If he's only got 5 shirts, he's going to move the shirt from $45 to $145. So consumer confidence tells you, and it's falling off the cliff. They never taper when consumer confidence is negative. And even cars. The new car sales are down. And housing confidence, the builder's confidence is down because they know their party is over with. And yields are inverting. We're starting to see they never taper when you start seeing the 3-month yield start going up and the 10-year yield going down. Never. So there's all the evidence. There's the evidence right there. They shouldn't be tapered. But what did I tell you about the Federal Reserve? They're a bunch of gangsters. 5 gangsters who, after the banks were in trouble in this country, got together and said, let's loan money to them and we'll control the government. Let's loan money to them and we'll print it, loan it to them, and charge them interest. And then we can create bubbles and we can smack them. And we'll get rich on both sides. And that's what they've been doing since they created the Federal Reserve. These 5 gangsters. And as I said to you, you talk about gangsters. Think about how they got this approved. First, people hated the idea of a central bank. They weren't stupid back then. They understood back then that someone came in with the idea, hey, us 5 guys are going to turn around. We're going to start this central bank, and we're going to fund the banks, and we're going to loan them money, and then we're going to charge you Americans, citizens, interest on that. Of course, they didn't want it, and the way they got it through was they started, the guys forming the Federal Reserve started to run articles and getting letters from the banks. We don't want this. Bankers don't want this. And people said, well, bankers don't want it. This must be good, the Federal Reserve. So then they wrote their congressman and said, no, we want this. We want this because bankers don't want it. We want it. It's got to be good, this Federal Reserve, because bankers don't want it. And then when they went to go get it through the Congress, they turned around and they put in there little statutes that said that they would not have too much power and all that stuff. And then when they finally got it approved, they changed the name to Federal Reserve. When they got it approved, they pulled out those statutes, so they weren't in there anymore. So their power wasn't limited. They can't even be audited. More when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert. It says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night. You don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Are you tired of being lied to about some magical economic recovery that only benefits the 1%? And then when the market does collapse, you're sitting there calling your broker, what do I do? When you should be shorting? Learn how to short the market. Continue to listen to my radio show, philsgang.com. Become a member, only $39.95 a month, and learn how to short.
Don't wait. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month? philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
$2,008. Okay, we're at 2008. We're at 1,200, and today we're at on the S&P. What? The S&P today we're at here. All right, take 1,200. Gang, okay, so here's what's going on. Today, they're talking about this tapering, and the reason they're going to taper is because they want to create another bust. Because all the evidence, and as I told you, that's what the Federal Reserve does. And that's why it's the worst thing in the world they ever allowed a Federal Reserve in. Because the wealthy, they want bust, because from a bust, they do exactly what they started to do. create inflation by printing money, and then they tell everybody, like they did in 2008, oh, we're going to print all this money, and what we're going to do is we're going to give all the money to the big companies and to the banks, and they're going to run the market up, and because they're going to be prosperous, all that prosperity is going to float down, and it's going to take care of all you people on Main Street, and your wages are going to go up, your standard of living going up, which is a bunch of lies. Didn't happen. So now that we've been in this gig for 13 years, with inflation going up crazy, they know it's going up too far. They know our stock prices are up too high. If you take any market cap or value of a company, it's usually 50. You judge it by it can't be any more than 50% of our economy, the value of our economy. We're at 290%, 209% of our value of our economy. That's insane. PE ratio should never be more than 15. They're 37. So they know all this. So they want to create a bust. They do this all the time. Because when they create that bust, they're going to start again creating inflation, and then and these people are again create more wealth for themselves, but everybody suffers. Everybody else is going to suffer. It's how it works. This is crazy, but it's the way it works. So what happened today? So let's go and take a look at our tourist stocks, Microsoft and Apple. Now, Microsoft, as I told you, got the tourists coming in. They don't know what they're doing, and they're buying Apple and they're buying Microsoft. That's all they know. Buying the pullback, buying the pullback. Well, I told my members the other day to go ahead and buy Microsoft because I knew the tourists are going to come in and start moving it up. But the difference between us and the tourists, because of my color-coded technology chart, it will identify when money is coming out of Microsoft and it's going to start going down. And it will identify it in advance. You just don't wake up one morning and Microsoft dropped and you lost your money. My charts are patent. They work. I give them to you for 10 days to use so you can identify if I'm full of crap or not. They work. So today, they started to move. So all these tourists came in, started to move up, and we're making money. They started to move up Microsoft. But here's what people don't understand. If you bought Microsoft today, you better put a stop in, especially if you added to it today, because you're not going to be good until the Qs, those are the NASDAQ 100 strongest tech companies, reach 370, and we're now at 367. Got to reach 370, but that's not good enough. We got to have better than average volume. Then if you're in Microsoft, then you know it will stay. It will sustain itself. You could wake up Monday morning and it could be all the way back to 288 from 304 because, again, we don't have the Qs backing Microsoft. Apple's not doing anything. Can't even make. They've been going sideways. Apple's been going sideways since July. Still can't make a new high at 151.84. Today it's 148.10. And when you go look at all the other ones, all the other tech stocks, the big tech stocks, especially the six that are tied to the S&P, that's been driving the S&P up for the last 13 years. That if you took those six stocks out of the S&P, we'd be in a crash right now. So those aren't faring well. Facebook is not doing well. Amazon is doing terrible. Netflix, the only one, she started to rally yesterday a little bit, but again, it's the tourists. It's the tourist. I'm gonna buy it on the pullback. Buy it on the pullback. And here's what they always buy on the pullback: Netflix. They buy Tesla on the pullback, Netflix on the pullback, and they buy Apple, and they buy Microsoft. You can bet your life on that. But the problem is they don't realize they better not buy Netflix until it gets above 557. So they're getting in it today, and they got in yesterday. They got in yesterday around 528. They got in around 536. Today they're getting in 547. Well, you nuts! You better get above 557. You better get in to hold it. See, and that's what we do here at Phil's Gang. None of our people are put at risk. We always tell our people, our first job here is to make sure you don't lose money. And if they don't lose money, our members all over the country, if they don't lose money, they'll be with us forever. We hold on to them. Because making money comes automatically if you concentrate on not losing money. So these stocks are going up, but they're, again, stocks are exhausted. So to taper when we have all this evidence is insane. But do you think the Federal Reserve cares? Of course not. Listen, the 1/100th of 1%, who are our owners, there's a handful of them. Their annual income is $22 million a year. Their wealth is $415 million. That's minimum. Their job is to take care of the top 1% of the folks in this country whose annual income is $400,000 a year and more, and whose wealth net worth is $5 million instead of the $412 million of the 1/100%. Their job is to take care of them. And how do they do that? Create these rallies, these bubbles, and then they bust them. Because when you create a rally, remember, because there's no more gold standard, think about what happened. There's no more gold standard. When you had a gold standard, you had a great country. Why? Because in business, you want to be able to anticipate. Anybody successful in business, you take a business that went out of business, you take a businessman who went broke, out of business, and take one who stayed in for years, what's the difference? Because the one who's been in business for years and sustained all the problems and bad deals and everything else, because he can anticipate what's going on in the future. We were a strong country when we were backed by gold, the dollar, because the prices could only go up so high. It was sustained. You couldn't just take a price of a shirt, move from $35, and the next week it's up to $135. That's what happens today, because each dollar is not backed by gold. When you have to have $1 for every dollar, you got to have an ounce of gold. You can't put your prices up. You print $1. You better have an ounce of gold for it. And then all of a sudden there's no gold. They can't print anymore, so they don't create inflation, so prices don't go up. So businesses can anticipate what's going to happen with their business down the road. You can't do that today. So this whole game, you can make a lot of money in this market following the booms to bust. And so we are going to a bust. Because take a look at your tech stocks. I said that back in 2018. I said, what's going to take us down is China and the big tech stocks. Exactly what's happening. Take a look at China. Nobody's looking at China. Take a look at China on a chart. What's happening? It's collapsing. China's stock market's collapsing. I look at that every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. I look at it every morning. First thing I do, how's the China market doing? Because the way China goes, the way their market goes, so do we. Because if you take MCHI, if you have a mobile device, you can check it out right now if you want to follow me. Look at MCHI on my chart. See it? Straight down red. Now what does that mean? That means that the way China goes, we go. Because remember, we buy everything from China. They manufacture everything. We borrow money from them to buy it. Isn't that stupid? Now, if you put the S&P against China, against MCHI, the S&P's going straight up. China's going down. What's that tell you? That we're overpriced. Everything's so overpriced. Inflation is here. And we already have a recession, but they won't admit it. So the best way to make money now is on the way back down. And that's what we do every day. And every day we tell our clients, every day, they know exactly what to do. And when we tell them, let's make money with the markets going down, a stock going down, we're right there with them. They can't even make it a mistake, for God's sakes. But they just listen. Right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativeGroup.com.
License number A1900020.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day?
That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Gang, remember, go to my site tonight, philsgang.com, my YouTube channel, so you'll get a fresh update as to when this market or why this market's going to crash, the evidence of it, okay? Now, in the meantime, listen to me. You got to understand that this market right now, where it is, with everything being peaked out, manufacturing's peaked out, orders have peaked, everything has peaked. And now they're telling us they're going to taper when we have evidence, that so much evidence, which I'm going to show tonight, okay, on my YouTube channel, so much evidence they can't peak. For you to make money in this market, all you got to know is when to get in, when to get out. The biggest thing, when to get out. Once you have the confidence not only to get out, but when the market starts going down, sell your stock short. What a difference it makes. What a difference. And every day we're right with you. At 2 o'clock we post our portfolio, our member portfolio tell you exactly what to do. Here's Steve.
Lowe's. Okay, now Lowe's, you can now buy to cover any remaining position you might have had. If you're not in it, go ahead and put a scout in.
And he goes on and he tells you what to do. So how can you not make money, especially shorting? I also want to, before I run out of time, you remember what Maria Bartiromo was calling Jamie Dimon a patriot? Let me play these two. This is ridiculous. Listen.
When I said you're Jamie Dimon, I meant I know you for a long time. You're not in it just for the money. Or is it just about the money?
No, of course not. I'm a patriot way before I worry about any money or anything like that, or about J.P. Morgan per se.
Now here's what Trump said.
Jamie Dimon's not a patriot. Not to me, he's not. He's out to make a buck for his company.
That's right, and he's a crook. Listen to me about Jamie Dimon. I know Jamie Dimon. Billionaire Jamie Dimon. He is no American patriot, but one of the world's most notorious criminals who should be in jail. Rarely, when asked to serve by a newly elected president, rarely does anybody turn it down. Anybody's a patriot does not turn it down, especially if you're a millionaire or a billionaire and you can afford to do it. Dimon was asked both by Obama and then by President Biden. He turned them both down. No wonder. He doesn't want to take a big pay cut because he's a gangster. He's the biggest money bundler for both Obama, and he was money bundler for Biden. This guy's powerful. He has more power and more influence than any Treasury secretaries where they offered him the job. Now, let me tell you about this patriot. Ever hear the term London whale? Well, we learned after he got caught setting up an illegal proprietary trading operation in London, nicknamed the Whale. It was illegal because he would gamble, making big risks, big trades, using bank depositors' money, not his. If Dimon won on his bet, on his trade, he'd book it for himself and for J.P. Morgan. But all his losing trades, if you lose, he doesn't take it. He books it to depositors. But don't cry for the depositors, because remember, depositors are insured by the FDIC. He knew that. So Main Street, you and me, taxpayers, we picked up the depositors' losses. This was a typical Wall Street Ponzi scheme or a skimming operation, even just as not bad as 401ks. They're the biggest skimming operation. Dimon, think about it. He didn't want to set off any red flags at the SEC. So he changed the way, he did the algorithm, so he changed the way that risk would be absorbed. Otherwise, risk would have been breached 330 times. Key limits would have showed up at the SEC, but he breached it because he didn't worry because he changed it. He changed the algorithms so they wouldn't show up. After he got caught, there was a Senate hearing. When they concluded this hearing in 2012, Dimon, the patriot, they said, lied 330 times about risk assessment. He lied on the bank's 10Q SEC filing. He lied to investors. This is from the Senate report. He lied to investors, to regulators, to the public, and to a sitting Congress. But here's what happened. They fined, not him, but J.P. Morgan. He didn't get hit. $900 million, but Dimon didn't pay it. J.P. Morgan didn't pay it. The big shareholders paid it. Now, this guy is so powerful. What happened? 1 year later, guess what? Obama offers him a job to be Secretary of Treasury. See, the people at the Department of Justice wanted to go and arrest him and prosecute him. But Obama and who was the head of the Department of, let's see, who was that? I can't remember who was the head of it, but they both said no. Instead, they offered him a job as Secretary of Treasury. Get this, can you imagine? The Department of Justice wanted to arrest him, wanted to convict him, wanted to charge him. The career guys. And they said, and Obama said no. And God, I can't remember who the Attorney General was. Said no. Holder. No, was it Holder? Said no. And then what? But instead, what did they do? They offered him a job. And you know what happened? Because they offered him a job. The bank was scared he was going to leave. So they gave him a $20 million raise. This is 12 months after the Senate told everybody he was a liar and a crook. Eric Holder. Yeah. Thank you. Holder and Diamond said to the head of the investigative arm of the Department of Justice, no, hold off, no. Because we're going to offer him a job. Unbelievable, isn't it? Just unbelievable. Look, before I wrap here, we're talking about all this disinformation that's coming in from Afghanistan today, especially today. Well, my producer put a little piece together, and I want to run it for you. Here it is.
What most people already know is that the war in Afghanistan lasted 2 decades, 4 presidents, and cost American taxpayers more than $2 trillion. This is what Biden and his administration don't want you to know. China is and has been in negotiations with the Taliban and are currently supporting and financing the Taliban. China has taken a great interest in Afghanistan's poppy, opioid, and rare minerals. The United States spent more than $8 billion over 15 years on efforts to deprive the Taliban of their profits from Afghanistan's opium and heroin trade, from poppy eradication to airstrikes and raids on suspected labs. Despite the threats posed by Afghanistan's illicit drug business, experts noted the United States and other nations rarely mention in public the need to address the trade, estimated by the United Nations on drugs and crime at more than 80% of global opium and heroin supplies. 3 of the last 4 years have seen some of Afghanistan's highest levels of opium production, according to the UNODC. Even as the COVID-19 pandemic raged, poppy cultivation soared 37% last year, it reported in May. The estimated all-time high for opium production was set in 2017 at 9,900 tons, worth some $1.4 billion in sales by farmers, or roughly 7% of Afghanistan's GDP, the UNODC reported. UN officials reported that the Taliban likely earned more than $400 million between 2018 and 2019 from the drug trade. According to Asia-Pacific commentator Thomas W. Buchan, if safety and stability are restored in Afghanistan, China could contribute to post-war reconstruction and development there and push forward joint projects under the China proposed Belt and Road Initiative, the Chinese Daily Global Times suggested last Sunday. There could be some amazing business opportunities for both Afghanistan and China, agrees the Asia-Pacific commentator. According to some estimates, Afghanistan holds between $1 trillion and $3 trillion in mineral wealth and underground reserves, including vast gold deposits and lithium that may be used to develop batteries for electric vehicles. The climate change agenda and shift from fossil fuel vehicles to EVs make the country's reserves of the silvery white alkali metal especially important. Back in 2010, the New York Times noted that Afghanistan could become the Saudi Arabia of lithium. While Afghans hold many minerals and rare earths, they lack the infrastructure and equipment to mine it and sell to global buyers. China's help to explore this wealth could come in handy. And this does not include giving Russia full control over the Nord Stream 2 pipeline in Europe by lifting sanctions that President Trump implemented. The Biden administration has made the fragile international order even less secure. After all that time, money, and effort expended by the Democrats and the mainstream propaganda machine to convince Americans that President Donald Trump was a Russian operative who was working for China, it seems they were talking about Joe Biden all along. This is Alex Scott for the Phil's Gang Radio Show.
Alex, great job. So the bottom line is this. Don't be fearful of investing in the market. The only way you get rid of that fear, with the same ease that you can buy a stock, sell a stock short. That's why we're here, to reach out to you to get you to that point. You help St. Jude get there too. See you on the track.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my